This lesson is for BOA 203. We're going to perform common conversions, for example, inches to feet and hours to minutes. Our very first example here says to find the number of ounces in 6 pounds. And then they give us the conversion factor here, 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So what I'm going to do always when I'm asked to convert something is I'm going to start with the given amount. I have 6 pounds. I'm going to write that down first. So 6 pounds. Now, to the right here, I can rewrite this as 1 pound over 16 ounces, or 16 ounces over 1 pound. Now what I'm going to do is choose one of these two fractions to use for my conversion. My goal is to try to get our pounds to cancel out with something underneath the denominator. So I want to see pounds underneath the denominator. Because I want to see pounds underneath the denominator, I'm going to select this conversion right here to use. So I have 16 ounces over 1 pound. Now all I have left to do is to multiply these two fractions. Now you can think of 6 pounds as a fraction if you want and put that over 1. You don't have to, because we're going to just type that right into our calculator. Okay, so I now have a calculator up here. Sorry about that. Oh, let's do it again. Okay, so this calculator here is what I'm going to use to show you how to type this into your TI-84. Now you see our fraction here, 6 pounds over 1 times 16 ounces over 1 pound. Now I'm going to put this in parentheses, because that's what I want to remind myself every time I see a fraction. That's what I need to do with my calculator. I'm going to put it into parentheses. Okay, so let's enter this. We're going to do 6 multiplied by, and again you could do that as 6 over 1, but let's do 6 times. When you enter a fraction, we always want to put parentheses, so we're going to use this key here for parentheses, and then we're going to type in 16 divided by 1. This is a fraction, and it's represented with that division key here. So let's hit divide, and now we're going to hit enter. So our answer here is 96. Now what's nice about this is that our units are going to cancel here. Pounds cancels with the pounds, and we ended up with the number 96. We know our unit here is going to be ounces. That's what we're solving for. So there are 96 ounces in 6 pounds. Okay, now in problem number 2, we're asked to find the number of dollars in 16 euros. So let's again start with this. We're going to write that out first, 16 euros. And then we can write this conversion here in two different ways. So we have $1 over 0.75 euro and 0.75 euro over $1. So these represent the same exact conversion, just written a different way. Now again, my goal was to try to get rid of the euro by using euro in the denominator. So of the two that I have here written out, I'm going to select this one because I have euro in the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite $1 over 0.75 euro. And again, I'm going to put this in parentheses to remind myself that that's a fraction, and when I enter into my calculator, I want to put it in parentheses as well. Okay, so let's take out our calculator. We're going to type in 16, then multiplied by $1, in parentheses though, $1 divided by 0.75. So that's how we represent fractions. Again, whenever you put a fraction into your calculator, you're going to use the divide key. Alright, so let's hit enter on this, and we end up with 21.3333 repeating. So 21.3 repeating. So that's about $21, and let's round to 33 cents. $21.33 in 16 euros. Okay, I'd like you to pause here, and I want you to try number 3 on your own. Number 3 asks you to find the number of kilometers in 4 miles. And off to the right here they have the conversion, 1 kilometer equals 0.62 miles. So go ahead, pause, and try this problem please on your own. Okay, let's start with finding the number of kilometers in 4 miles. Remember, we want to start with the number 4 miles. Let's write that out. 4 miles, and we're going to multiply that by one of the fractions over here that we're going to write out. So 1 kilometer over 0.62 miles, or 0.62 miles over 1 kilometer. We're going to choose whichever one is going to get rid of the miles and cancel out in the denominator, and that's going to be this first fraction here, because miles is in the denominator, so I'm going to choose this one. So I have 1 kilometer over 0.62 miles. And now when I multiply these, the units here for miles are going to cancel out, leaving me with kilometers. So let's go to our calculator. Remember, we want to put this in parentheses because it's a fraction. Let's go to our calculator and let's type this in. So we have 4 times, in parentheses, 1 divided by 0.62. Hit parentheses again, and now we can hit enter, and we get 6.45. So we have 6.45 kilometers in about 4 miles. Okay, we're going to end with a word problem. We're also going to convert a simple conversion here. So go ahead and pause the tape or pause the video. I'd like you to read this problem and try to work through it yourself, and then hit play again so you can see the solution. Okay, so this problem says Kyle has been training to run a marathon for over a year. He spends an average of 3 hours a day running in preparation for the marathon. During his runs, he runs an average distance of 30,000 meters. That seems like a lot. Now, how many miles does Kyle average on his daily run? So they give us this conversion here. Okay, they give us a lot of numbers. We want to focus on the ones that are important here. So we're trying to convert how many miles Kyle runs from the distance that they give us of 30,000 meters. This 3 hours a day isn't really important. They're just kind of throwing that number in there to distract us. So I want to take this number, this is the number I'm given to start with, 30,000 meters. Okay, now I'm going to write the conversion 1 mile over 1,609.3 meters, and the same number, 1,609.3 meters over 1 mile, and I want to choose which conversion I should use. Remember, you want to cancel out in the denominator the same unit that appears here, so that means I want to have meters down here, and I'm going to choose this first fraction here. So I have 1 mile over 1,609.3 meters. Let me erase here and get some more room. Let's put this in parentheses because that is a fraction that we're going to use in our calculator. So let's go to our calculator and type this in. So we have 30,000 multiplied by, in parentheses, 1 divided by 1,609.3. Alright, so let's close the parentheses there. We must make sure we close that parentheses. Hit enter, and we get 18.64 miles. So, again, the units here are going to cancel out. That's why I'm left with miles. Let me erase so I have a little bit more room. 18.64 miles. Okay, that's the end of BOA 203. We're going to work a little bit more in class tomorrow.